So regardless of whether someone is a man or a woman, they are going to have a masculine and a feminine aspect. And when it comes down to their masculine aspect, this will relate to their ability to do, to their thoughts, and so taking action. And when it comes to their feminine aspect, this will relate to their ability to just be, their feelings, and to their ability to receive. And when someone has both of these aspects in place, when both of these parts are integrated, they will be able to just be, so to surrender, to let go, and to receive, to be receptive to life, to be vulnerable. And when their masculine aspect is in place, they will be able to do, so to give, to get things done, and to take life by the horns. And so it could be said that they will be in balance. As they are able to receive, their life won't need to be one big struggle, and they won't need to exhaust themselves, because through being able to receive, their masculine aspect won't need to overcompensate for the fact that they are unable to receive. And so their life will be a lot easier. They will be able to flow and to be in touch with their own flow. And so naturally, when someone has both of these aspects in place and they are comfortable with both of them, they're going to live a fulfilling life. And so when someone doesn't have both of these aspects in place and they are not integrated, naturally, they're going to suffer in one way or another. And if someone is in a position where their feminine aspect is not very developed and is even rejected, and so they are overcompensating with their masculine aspect, they are likely to live a life of struggle, of force, of effort, and they could often feel exhausted. And as time goes by, they could even have a breakdown or some kind of serious illness because they've simply worked too hard. And when someone lives like this, their life is going to be all about doing. Perhaps the only time that they will be is when they are about to go to sleep and when they're on holiday. And even then, when they are trying to get to sleep, their mind could be racing, so they could find it hard to let go. And even if they are on holiday, they could find it hard to let go again. They could be planning, they could be doing things all the time, and they won't be able to just take in the good stuff and to recharge. And if someone has been this way for most of their life, it could be due to what took place during their early years. So during their developmental years, so when they were an infant and a toddler, this may have been a time when their developmental needs were rarely, if ever, met. And when they were given care, this may have been misattuned care. And so this would have been a time when they were deeply traumatized. And through having caregivers who were unable to really be there for them, they would have ended up shutting down and disconnecting from themselves, and perhaps gone into a frozen state. And so at the beginning of their life, they would have been in a feminine state. And then if they had received what they needed, they would have gradually developed their masculine aspect. And so if their mother was essential when it came to their feminine aspect, their father would have been essential when it came to developing their masculine aspect. But as it wasn't safe for them to simply be and to surrender, to be receptive, because the care that they received wasn't good enough and they had to shut down, they would have lost the ability to receive. They would have learned that it wasn't safe for them to exist. The world wasn't safe, that human beings were not safe. And so through shutting down, they wouldn't have been able to receive what they needed. And of course, what they needed wasn't being provided anyway. And so many years will have passed and this stage would have been over. And they would have ended up developing this very masculine self could be seen as a very masculine false self, and so they won't be in balance now that they are an adult. And in order for them to be able to be vulnerable, to surrender, to let go, they will probably have a lot of emotional wounds and a nervous system that needs to be reset, to be settled down, because their brain and their nervous system, their whole system, will have been wired for protection, for survival. It will not have been wired for connection, for receiving, for thriving. And so if this is the case, naturally their system is not going to change overnight. They can't just press a button or change what is going on in their mind in order for them to be able to develop and embrace their feminine aspect. But through reaching out for the right support and changing themselves, they will gradually be able to integrate this side of them, and their life will no longer need to be one big struggle. So if you can relate to this, you can see that your early years were not very nurturing, and you have been overcompensating with a masculine aspect, so you spend a lot of time doing, and you find it very hard to just be. Then reaching out for external support from a therapist or a healer or someone like this may be essential. So if you can relate to this, please reach out for the assistance that you need so you can live a great life. If you would like to find out more about the services that I offer, please go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk, and I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.